Minar, a vast still lake that is fed by no stream, and out of which no stream flows. 10,000 years ago there stood by its shore the mighty city of Sarnath, but Sarnath stands there no more. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, and gender non-conforming people. My name is Andrew Carr.
And my name is Knight Spital.
And welcome to the Carr-Quest of H.P. Lovecraft. And yes, as you will notice, my microphone's on a little colored pencil, and also I'm joined here by my co-star today, Knight, as he introduced himself earlier.
Hi everyone, how's it going?
Yeah, so if you remember the episode on Hunter of the Dark, we had Knight was there, and it was cool. We read the story, and I remember we both liked it.
We did,
yeah.
Yeah, I was actually really intrigued to and especially since I'm I still consider myself a beginner to a lot of Lovecraft's work, but I definitely do feel like the one that we read recently was actually really interesting. And yeah. Sorry.
I don't know why I stared at the camera for a second. It was but anyway. I think I said nice because if you can look there, you can see the pride flag in the back.
Oh yes, you can.
Yeah, it's just right there. It's just right over there, so you can see it. So anyway, yes. But anyway. So what story are we covering today? Well, we'll tell you. Today we will be covering the doom that came to Sarnath. And yeah. So how does one describe the doom that came to Sarnath? Knight?
Well, I guess the best way I would describe it is that it's kind of like well, I guess the best way I would describe it is it's pretty much like it because it's taking place like in its own little island.
The land of Minar. Yeah, the land of Minar. Yeah,
the land of Minar, and it's kind of like it talks about.
Well, on the back for Doom That Came to Sarnath, it says hate, genocide, and deadly curse, and I agree with that. I agree with that.
I agree with that too.
So pretty much it's about this city called Sarnath, and how it was founded by a bunch of shepherds that colonized the land, and then eventually made a few other cities, and then eventually came to Sarnath and founded it, and it was right near a stone city called Ib, and Ib was filled with sort of humanoid, humanoids.
Because in a way it was kind of like. I guess I would say it was its own. Well, actually, I don't know if I'm using the right word for this, but it's would cult be the right word?
Maybe. I think it's more just kind of like more definitely like a town, like its own.
Yeah, more like a town actually.
Religion. Yeah, but yeah. So anyway, the people of Sarnath don't take kindly to the people of Ib much, and as it says on the back, they kind of commit genocide on the people of Ib, and over the next sort of 1,000 years, it sort of follows the progression of how decadent and just rich and the place gets. There's even a festival that celebrates the destruction of Ib and stuff, and the people of what you'll learn in this story very quickly is that the people of Sarnath are dicks. Mm-hmm. They're dicks. They're huge dicks.
Yeah.
And by the way, if you're wondering, the big pony off to the side of the screen there, sort of slowly pushing their way in.
Oh yeah, that
it's,
was. I brought my Derpy plushie with me.
Yeah, and there's actually more ponies actually around us than just this one, but they have us surrounded actually. They have us surrounded. They're not gonna let us go. They are everywhere. They have threatened us numerous times. We need help. Please send help. Send help.
We're fine. We're fine. There's no need to worry about us.
Yeah.
They're protecting us with.
Yeah, I'm just kidding. But yeah, and there's flutters right there. So anyway, back to the story. So yeah, over the course of the 1,000 years, they come to the conclusion. Well, not they come to the conclusion that on the 1,000th year, shit goes down, and yeah, I think that's a good sort of summary of the story. Would you say?
Yeah, actually, I would agree with that, and I was also really interested about because I remember that they even mentioned towards the end of the story that there were these lights coming out from the it was from the lake.
Oh yeah,
and, and like something about that really intrigued me because it's kind of because they never explained what the lights were coming from.
No, I'm guessing maybe it's the spirits of Ib.
Yeah,
or the spirits of the land, sort of being for revenge, vengeful spirits.
Yeah, I actually would agree with that because it definitely did feel like it was the lights those lights were kind of they were represented as some sort of signal for the for everyone.
Yeah. And then that something was coming. Oh yeah, and after they first destroy the land of the city of Ib, they take their trophy with them of a god that they worshipped, and then the next day the idol is gone and one of the high priests is dead. And there's doom scratched into an altar. But anyway, so what did you think of the story though?
Yeah, so I thought the story was actually really it was actually really fascinating fascinating to read about. I was the whole location in particular really stood out to me, and it was really interesting to kind of just see what was going on, and also pretty much kind of understanding how what's causing all the doom, in particular the what is being affected in this in this small town. And but yeah, I mean it was actually a really interesting experience for me to kind of learn about all together. And I've always that's what I've always enjoyed, kind of learning about a lot of Lovecraft's work. It's kind of it a lot of his work is it takes a direction that you wouldn't expect to see. But yeah, I mean overall I definitely do feel this was this was a really good story to read.
Yeah, I thought this was pretty good too. So we didn't use a Horror Babble audiobook. We read it out loud together.
Yes, we did,
and it was pretty fun.
Yeah, I actually really enjoyed taking turns having to read through different paragraphs of the story because it's kind of as we were reading, it's kind of I was getting a picture in my head, kind of just imagining what was going on, and pretty much kind of just figure out pretty much just figure out the whole moral of the story altogether, really.
Yeah, definitely. And I had a point, but then I forgot it.
Oh, that's okay.
But yeah, I think this was definitely one of Lovecraft's best.
Yeah, I definitely would agree.
Yeah. I will say though, this is also probably one of his darkest stories. And given what we've covered so far, and not just in this season, but also in the last season, that's saying a lot. That's saying a lot that I look at Doom the King of Sarnath and is this one is one of the darkest ones, because I think it does deal with themes of hatred and xenophobia and genocide.
Oh yeah.
And I mentioned this to you actually while we were reading it. That it kind of reminded me of the Edgar Allan Poe story.
Oh yeah.
Mask of the Red Death. In that it's similarly like there's like I described to you, there's like a plague slowly like horrifically killing like the people outside like a kingdom, and the people in the kingdom, like the princes and everybody's like holding a party instead. They're just like deep inside like the castle.
Oh yeah.
And then a guy with a red mask comes in and just completely just wrecks things for them. And but kind of that similar idea that that it's basically rich decadent people being punished for being dickish rich decadent people.
Yeah.
And also at the end, what I also like is I'm kind of mixed on. I kind of want to get your sort of thought on it. For a story called The Doom That Came to Sarnath, we don't actually really know what the actual doom is.
You know what? That's actually really true, because they kind of just give you like vague details about like the doom altogether. So it's pretty much like, well, I guess the next question would be like are they like is Lovecraft going to be explaining more about like what the doom is like in the next story or something like that?
Yeah, because this is part of the dream cycle. I think, I'm not sure if the doom itself comes back, but I think like the place comes back, like Minar comes back.
Oh yeah.
We'll visit Minar, the land of Minar again. I'm not sure when we'll see it again. But and then I don't know. I have seen it, but I'm trying to repress it so that way that when I read the next couple stories, it is kind of a surprise to me. But yeah. So I don't know. Like it is a good story. It is a really good story.
It is, yeah.
If you were to rank it on like a tier list. What would you like from like S to A, B, C, D, and F? What would you rank the Doom That Came to Sarnath?
Well, I guess I'd have to give it. I'd probably have to give it a B.
Yeah. Just sort of not to press you.
No, you're not pressing me at all.
Pressure, peer pressure.
My precious.
How so?
Okay, so I think mainly because like it's pretty much like it really gives you like a basic idea of like what the story is about. I definitely do feel like there was it kind of feels like there was a little bit of information left out, kind of just like trying to figure out like what the trying to understand like what this force is what this force is being caused from. But I definitely do feel like the story altogether, it's very interesting to learn about, and you're pretty much you're pretty much kind of just like learning about like who these characters are, like from the first few paragraphs. And I think it's kind of like it really does feel like, well, I get like, I'm sorry, I lost my train of thought.
It's all right, folks. It's all right, folks.
Yeah, it's okay. Yeah, but I mean, I definitely do feel like I definitely do feel like overall this was a really good story to read about. I definitely do feel like I think it's that if we got to read more about like the continuation of like what would happen next, it would probably give me a better understanding of like what is happening. But I definitely do feel like overall this definitely goes as a B on the tire list.
Yeah. I do kind of agree.
Yeah.
For me, I'd probably give it like either a B or an A. I'll let editing Andrew decide. But yeah, I do very much agree with you. I do feel like this is a really good story, and reading a lot of it, especially the opening with everything that goes on with Ib.
Mm-hmm.
It's disturbing, and it's dark, and but it's not in a way that's like, oh, kooky cults and magic books and grimoires and all sorts of things like that. It's just kind of, it's very human.
It is.
It's very human horror, because hate and genocide are real things, and so I feel like it really leaned into that.
Yeah, especially with and like I definitely would agree with that too, especially when it's kind of like we're dealing with these like through everyday life, and it's kind of like pretty much we're just like
it's all good. It's all good, dude. It's all good, dude.
I always have like an idea in my mind, and I always it always just leaves me.
Yeah. I know what that's like.
Yeah.
But yeah. So I would probably give it maybe like a low, like A, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
I do agree with you that maybe even for like Lovecraft, and Lovecraft's known for the fear of the unknown and not always revealing everything.
That's very true
in his stories. So I do feel like maybe just like a bit more detail could have, I think, been good.
I would agree, yeah.
But otherwise, yeah, I think this is a really good story. It's a fascinating entry into Lovecraft's stories, and I think it is definitely one of his best, though, and I think there's a reason that a lot of people like I think, what was it? There was like a Batman comic. It was like The Doom That Came to Gotham.
Oh yes.
Which is nothing to do with with the Doom That Came to Sarnath, but it shares the same title, and like Doom That Came to Sarnath is one of his known tales. So I think
that's pretty cool.
Yeah, and I think that definitely is. I think it definitely earns that sort of status.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, like it's not up there for me with like Music of Eric Zahn or Call of Cthulhu or Dunwich Horror or Color Out of Space, especially.
Oh yeah.
I love Color Out of Space. I love
do too.
I love that story so much. But anyway, yeah. So I'd say maybe a low A. Knight would give it a B.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, are there any just sort of like closing statements you wanna make?
Yeah. I mean, I guess I would say that well I should say thank you so much for letting me take part in this review with you.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, it's great having you back on again.
Yeah, I'm actually glad to be back on in this review with you. I really do enjoy like reading about Lovecraft's work, and I actually would be interested in kind of just like seeing like where we'll be going from where we'll be going from here.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think overall, yeah, I mean, I think it's kind of just, I look forward to seeing like what the next installment for Dreams of Terror and Death will be.
The dream cycle of H.P. Lovecraft, Dreams of Terror and Death.
Mm-hmm.
It's right there. But yeah, well, again, Knight, thank you for coming on.
Yeah, you're very welcome. I'm glad. Yeah, I'm glad.
It's been great. You have to show that we're shaking hands because of the pillow.
Yes.
And so anyway, now that you do mention it, our next story on our quest, a Carr-Quest of H.P. Lovecraft, is actually one of my favorite stories by H.P. Lovecraft. I read it a long time ago, and it is in my opinion up there with Color Out of Space and all the other ones. The Statement of Randolph Carter. So this is also, we're meeting Randolph Carter again from Silver Key.
Woo!
So yeah, and this is also the first story written with Randolph Carter in it.
Oh,
so
that's exciting.
When it comes to the Dreamlands and the Dream Cycle and stuff, this is the first time in the Dream Cycle that we'll be meeting Randolph Carter, who will become very important.
Awesome.
As we go on. So Anyway, next week we'll be doing The Statement of Randolph Carter, one of my favorite tales by Lovecraft. And until then, ladies and gentlemen, and non-binary, gender non-conforming people, I have been Andrew Carr.
And I have been Knight Spital.
And this has been the Carr-Quest of H.P. Lovecraft. So until then, see you next time.
See ya.
Bye.
Bye.